Cool, we on?
Yeah.
Alright, so hey, what's up YouTube? Mike Machine here. This is for all the subscribers out there. Let me turn this down, it's a bit loud. This is for all of you subscribers out there, so this is going to be a special treat because it's not part of my normal weekly thing. Eventually what I'm going to be doing is running a series on sexual motivation. And before I get to sexual motivation, I'm going to give you basically a couple of courses, not courses, basically a couple, I guess you could say, yeah, courses or lectures on nonverbal rapport and verbal rapport. I'm also going to give you a couple different ways you can measure behavior. I'll do frequency and duration, and I'll give you some other tools as well. But essentially today I'm going to talk about nonverbal rapport, and I'm going to talk about a method of basically creating rapport that I've developed. I basically put the acronym together. In terms of research and social situations, the research was all done long before I came along. But I basically put together a nice little acronym that's easy to remember and it's easy to use in your everyday life. For those of you that don't know what rapport basically is this idea that you meet a person and for whatever reason you just click. Like, say you're at Starbucks and you just feel like you're really getting along good with the person behind the counter, or you're just in line chatting with someone and you feel like you have a really good connection. That's rapport. Also, it really comes into play when you're in a business environment, or maybe you're in a sales situation. Basically, any type of social interaction. To have good rapport is a really positive thing. It helps you in essentially getting what you want and building stronger relationships. So it's important to have rapport. But again, it's that idea that, you know what, you meet somebody and you just feel like you get along. You just feel like, oh yeah, I like so-and-so, we have a good rapport, right? So that's it. But the idea behind rapport, or the idea behind, I guess, let me just tell you, okay, the basic assumption is that it's something that you do. It's not something that just happens, right? So there's a series of things that you can do as an individual in any social interaction that you have to increase the likelihood that you're going to have rapport with somebody. So that's what I'm going to do today, is talk about essentially nonverbal rapport. And later I can get into mirroring and matching. I can talk about pacing and leading, and I can also talk about verbal rapport, which I'll probably do next week. But for now I'm going to talk about nonverbal rapport. I'm going to give you an acronym that you can use, and it's awesome. You can take it with you for the rest of your life. The acronym is called P.E.S.T, so P-E.S.T. P-E.S.T, control, right? So the idea is control is not the acronym. Control is just reminding you that this is something that you want to control. You want to control each of these four components. And I'll give you the first one. This is actually what you do when you see the person that you're going to have a chat with or that you're going to meet. The first thing you want to do is your P, it's your posture. So you want to make sure that you're standing up straight, shoulders back, shoulders relaxed, right? It's not, you see some guys that are like, they'll pull their shoulders all the way back and they're doing this number. It's not that. It's just more of having a nice solid posture. It conveys confidence. It's especially if you look down the road to an alpha male. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that. But yeah, it conveys confidence. So you see the person standing up straight, shoulders back, shoulders relaxed, posture. So that's the first thing you do. Posture. Okay, so there's the person you're going to talk to. You're walking up, you have good posture. The next thing you want to do is get eye contact. And if the person's looking away, that's hard to do. But as soon as they look at you and they acknowledge you, you want to look them in the eye. Okay, you shouldn't be looking down the floor. You shouldn't be, looking off, looking into outer space. You want to look the person in the eye. Okay, so eye contact. All right, so we have our posture, we have our eye contact. After eye contact, you're going to do the next thing, which is probably, in my opinion, one of the most important things you can do, and that's smile, right? So you walk up, you have good posture, you're making eye contact, you're looking the person in the eye, and you're smiling, right? It's pretty simple stuff, okay? You always smile when you meet people. It also conveys a sense that, you're genuine, you're coming to the person, you're not trying to harm them, you have good intentions, so you want to smile, okay? So we have posture, eye contact, and smile. And then the last bit, this is something that you have to, it's going to take some time to work on it, but it's crucial and it really brings everything together. The last part is touch, okay? So, posture, eye contact, smile, touch, okay? So, you walk over to a person, you have good posture, good eye contact, you're smiling, hi, nice to meet you. The final bit to bring everything together is you can reach over on the shoulder, you can give them a squeeze, you can touch their arm. The part where I say be careful is if you're a man touching a man, that's fine. You're not going to give them a caressing touch, right? It's a good firm, like, hey, how you going? You know, it's that kind of thing. If you're a man touching a woman, same thing. You don't want to invade the person's space and make them feel uncomfortable, because then your rapport will go upside down, and you might as well just completely walk away. Because the idea is the person's going to feel so pulled back, they're going to feel like, they're just going to feel uneasy with the situation. So the touch is not something where you're trying to get fresh with a person or you're trying to make a sexual advance. It's not like that. It's just a simple, you reach over, you touch them on the shoulder, you give them a squeeze, you touch them on the arm. You know, you let them know that you're on the same page with them. It's a nice way to basically get on the person's level. Okay. Now, for women touching men, if you're a woman, you also have to be careful with this, because immediately one of the first things that a guy is going to think is you have good posture, you're making eye contact, you're smiling, and now you're touching him. You have to be careful, again, how you touch him. You don't want to leave like this lingering, like, oh yeah, you know, you don't want to do that. It's the same thing. It's just, oh, okay, great, I understand what you're saying, especially in business. But that really seals the deal. The other thing is, think about where you are, right? If you are in, I don't know, say an area where the people that live there don't do a lot of touching and they don't make a lot of eye contact, then by staring at somebody and touching them and getting too close to their personal space, you're actually going to get outside rapport. Okay, you're going to get the exact opposite of what you want. But you know, places like North America, Australia, you know, parts of Europe, you're okay to touch. It's quite accepted. You're also okay to make eye contact. But again, be careful, especially in North America. If you're down in, say you're in downtown Los Angeles and you're making like excessive amounts of eye contact, you might get the opposite effect. But so that's the deal. So you want to build rapport. You walk into any situation. You always want to focus on your posture. You make sure you have good eye contact. You're smiling. You're happy. You're genuinely excited to be there. You're genuinely excited to meet the person and get their attention. And then you seal it with a touch. Okay? So that's basic nonverbal rapport. Next time I'll talk about verbal rapport and basically give you a little bit more, I guess, a little bit more meat behind the bone. And we'll go a bit more in depth. And then probably maybe 3 weeks from now, I'll start giving you basically the series on sexual motivation. It's probably going to run for anywhere from 5 to 6 weeks. It's about 50 to 60 minutes. So it's like a full lecture. And with sexual motivation, I'll basically talk about specifically pro-social behavior and how sexual motivation ties into pro-social behavior. So to make it simple, like why a person is holding a door for you. You know, when you bend over, you drop something, why they're picking it up for you. So we'll talk about sexual motivation. Anyway, I'm Mike Machine. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll do it all again next week. Be great.